We'll begin, and many of us we are familiar with Omoyele Sowore, the human rights activist, the founder of Sahara Reporters, a news platform that has been breaking news more than the chef is breaking egg in the kitchen. Uh, with Sahara Reporters, we've come to know a lot of things that we didn't know before. Omoyele Sowore is also a presidential candidate in the last election. He ran under the party AAC. While Chukwu Emeka is a content creator and the convener of One African Project. So we are happy to have you both with us on today's show. Just as the title said,
Thank you so much.
we'll be talking about looking beyond the ethnic and tribal line and the way forward. As we already know, the country is taking yeah, it has been developing over the time in terms of corruption and underdevelopment and a lot of things that we can't write home about. And it is time that we move forward. Sowore has been in the forefront of this struggle. Thank you for those joining us on Facebook. We can see your comments on Take It Back movement. So you both are welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So
Thank you.
we'll begin by asking, starting with Omoyele Sowore, what is motivating you? We've seen you over the years. You fought from one struggle to the other. You know, a lot of people will see these things and just give up, and many will even write to you and said, why don't you give up? You know, on this struggle. What is motivating you?
Well, I think when you use the word motivation, it's a broad, uh, it's a broad word, and the context, can be interpreted to mean there's something pushing you, or if there's something incentivizing you, if there's something within you that's pushing you. But I think mine is basically out of experience. And when I mean experience, is that I grew up thinking that by now Nigeria would have become not El-Dorado, but a country that is able to at least take care of a few things, areas of socio and physical infrastructure, and provide, some kind of an easy list of life to its citizens. And to know that that hasn't happened during my lifetime was something that made me to be very disappointed and angry with the country, Nigeria, and mostly its leaders. So I would say that my motivation is mostly from experience. It's mostly from this my desire to see just a better country. And sometimes if you ask the same question, you can apply it to so many of us. I won't say some of us. So many of us have traveled outside the country, and I don't like to say this a lot because it can turn people off, people who have not had the same opportunities. But I honestly think that if you traveled out of Nigeria, sometimes not even beyond the West African region, you come back heavily disappointed in the leadership of the country. And when you make up your mind that you won't take anything less than acceptable, uh, you just have to sit there, stand there, uh, and do what your conscience tells you is right. And don't be discouraged, don't be scared until you achieve those results that you think is acceptable for your own standard of uh, development that you love to see in your country. So that in a nutshell is not just directly answering the word motivation, because like I said, it's broad and it can also be a little bit contextually misinterpreted. It's just in a nutshell how I found myself where I am today, just refusing to give up, refusing to be scared, refusing to be discouraged. And I just saying that nothing in my view would discourage me or dissuade me from continuing on that path. Nothing.
We have seen that. Thank you so much for what you're doing. And Chukwu Emeka, what is motivating you to do what you do?
Well, I think our leader said it all. It's just simply to see a working society. What bigger motivation, what motivation can be bigger than that? When you travel across, not even Europe now or Asia, some small African countries, you'll be disappointed with what you see in our country. So that's just the motivation to see a working society, where you can work at any time of the day and without being scared of somebody kidnapping you. You understand? Where you can drive on smooth roads. These are simple, basic amenities. It's not what we should be begging for. These are fundamental human rights. These are things we should have ordinarily. So that's just a motivation on its own, just to see a working society. That's all I want, where we can all coexist, peacefully. That's it, simple.
Thank you. I believe, yes, if truly that is all we want, those who are watching as well, we can draw strength, we can draw knowledge from those who are at the forefront of the struggle, those who are really trying to show Nigerians that yes, indeed, it is possible. We can have a working society. So I will move to my next question, and I want you to be free as well to stop me or correct me or even pose a question to me, as we go on the show. So my next question would be: do you feel your effort is making impact? Do you feel so? Starting with Omoyele.
Well, when you make efforts on a scale that we're all trying to make it, you should temper your expectations with a great deal of humility. Or sometimes I'll say pessimism, which is to say that, you see, your efforts, a lot of people get discouraged very quickly from towing the path that we tow all the time because they have expectations. And the moment the expectations are not realized the same day that they get involved in any kind of struggle, they get paralyzed or they get discouraged. And in our own case, you have to understand that when you're fighting for a better society, some of the things you are fighting for may not even happen in your lifetime. I mean, during your lifetime. Some of the things you are working for may have happened without you knowing, because you are up against a system that wants to prove you wrong, and you're there not to prove yourself right, but to keep doing what is right. So that is the way I have looked at it, and I don't think there's one parameter for judging impact. But the fact that just a person or two or some people can stand up to a powerful system of oppression or corruption and look it in the face, and in some cases bring it down or humble it, in my view, it makes a lot of impact. The fact that you can live a life that motivates others to do even better than you can ever imagine you could do is impact. That you can, set up structures, you can set up systems that can perpetually challenge oppression, challenge corrupt leadership, and leadership that is absolutely and patently incompetent. That in itself is impact. So the way I struggle, and I can only speak for myself, I'm not looking for that immediate impact that make people want to judge you and nominate you for an award the next year or recommend you to get the Nobel Prize. I don't do it that way. I do what I need to do. I plunge myself into it on the front lines, and I hope for the best. And I have seen a little bit of history. I noticed that people who have defined history in a positive way have done the same things. I mean, imagine today, at what age did the Martin Luther King die? He wasn't even 40 yet. I think Malcolm X too, around, he was in his 30s. But look at the impact of their lives. They died even before we were born. Look at the impact of their struggles. They didn't die with any properties or wealth. I don't even think some of them have a will. Some of these guys. But look at the impact that they have created. Look at the inspiration they have given to millions and millions of people who just invoke their names to bring down oppression, invoke their names to demolish irresponsible governments. So I think this particular question is important for people who are upcoming because I found myself in positions and places and conditions in which within a short time people expect maximum results for doing just a little. And it was why it was difficult for a lot of people to still even understand to today that I have been around for 30 years because they're looking at 30 years of struggle, which started around 1989. And they're looking at it at 2019 and, and saying, what has he achieved? He doesn't even have a flashy car. He doesn't have houses. That is not the reason I went to do this. Or he doesn't, have a big title. Or he has never even been appointed to a public position before or even elected. So this must not be the defining reason why people struggle. And I say this again, repeating myself, that I found myself in situations like that, where I think people expect little efforts and big results.
Yeah, that is true. Thank you so much for what you've said so far. Chukwu, uh, to you, do you feel, because I recently saw the last video that you did, do you feel that your effort is making impact?
Well, like Mr. Sowore said, you can't measure impact. He impacted me to do something, some of this I'm doing, but maybe he doesn't even know me. At least I'm talking to him for the first time now, and it's an honor to me. So, impact is, what you do to inspire other people to do more than you. Do you get it now? So,
Yeah.
sometimes I feel very tired. I must be honest with you. I feel depressed. Like when you're showing somebody this is the truth, and they are seeing the truth, but they come and attack you. I feel depressed. My last video was reported just because I
Wow.
was talking about Kilishi. They said they did for 30 years. They were able to only achieve Kilishi technology. The video was reported, and Facebook almost took down my page. You understand? So the thing is that we have to keep resounding the message. That is just because when I read history, you see these Igbo people, how they got Africa is they didn't just do it in one day, in 2 years. They had a 300 years plan. Even the people who colonized Africa, they've all gone, but their their children are still reaping, the thing they did. They had a long-term, and that's one of the issues I see with black people. We don't have long-term plan. We want it to happen right now. You understand? We want to sow now and reap tomorrow. So I believe a lot of people will object to the truth. You understand? At first, but once we keep resounding the message and don't get tired, even though we will get tired, but if you have a purpose of why you're doing this, One purpose is driving you, you get, we keep resounding the message. It's just like, let's take for example a church. If you go to the church today, they tell you Jesus is coming soon, right? Next week they will say the same thing. They keep saying it, and before you know it, that Jesus is coming soon lives in the subconscious mind of an average African or Nigerian. So even if you're trying to have a logical conversation with them, they tell you Jesus is coming soon because this is what they've been hearing for a long time. So we have to apply the same method. You get, we have to keep resounding the message of hope, the message of truth, true history, and gradually we will make impact. It takes a lot of time. You understand? I've read some works of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. These guys lived and died a long time ago, but they still inspire me today because of the impact they've made. So I'm making a lot of impact, I can say, but we can't really measure it. You understand? But I've seen people who used to think in a certain way before, but once they encountered my content, they began to change their mind. You understand? Like what Mr. Sowore said, many people don't know the real history. That is just one of the issues we have. They don't know the real history. He talked about he has been in this struggle for 30 years. Many people don't know. During
That
the
is true.
election, people will just say, "Who are you?" So you are a politician. He has never been a politician. Some people will say, "So you lost election. You want to call for revolution?" I said, "No." Even before election, he said it clearly. It's either we have the
Mm-hmm.
revolution by ballot
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or the other way. He's been saying this all this while, and but people don't know history. You understand? But we have to keep teaching. You understand? Even people who teach fake things, they don't give up. How about we that we are saying the real thing? It's hard, it's difficult, but we have to keep doing it. I have a friend on Facebook who used to be a mate of Minister Sowore in school. He told me all of these things, how he got a bullet wound. He almost died when they were struggling against Abacha. Now he's in Canada, I think.
Okay.
you know. But people don't know all of these things. They think maybe he just came today and say, I want to become the
Mm.
president. So we have to teach real history. That is how we can make impact. You understand? So gradually we will make impact. As long as we don't give up, we keep teaching, huh? More people will join and will make impact gradually. It might take a lot of time. It might seem as if we are doing nothing. You get, but
Yeah.
we have to keep doing it. That is it.
Thank you so much. It is true, though. I kind of give up on the country way back, until Showore started, his movement, the Take It Back movement, and that also inspired me, to get motivated and start waking our people up. And I agree with you both that indeed the impact is coming. It may not be as fast as people do expect. Now we see that Nigerians, they have more energy these days. They have they have the desire to even record, when they are being abused. It was not like this in time past. We see a whole lot of videos of police abuse, brutality, and many things that are going on. This is as a result of the movement, as a result of the voices that have come up to speak for Nigerians, to say that these things is not supposed to be so. So I believe as well that indeed we are making impact. Indeed, your work, the things that you do is making impact as well. But we've seen also that a lot of this struggle, a lot of this movement, a lot of those agitating for a better country, a country that work, has been divided into different groups, and it has taken the form of ethnic and tribal lines. So do you feel that this is helping the struggle, the struggle to have a country that works for everyone? Do you feel this is helping the struggle, Chukwu Emeka?
Well, one thing we must understand is that as people like to use black people, but just for correction, I we have the same struggle. Either you like it or not. Anywhere you go in Africa, it's the same story, except a few countries. It's the same story, different African countries. In fact, yesterday I read that um, Equatorial Guinea is building a wall. But they've built a wall actually to demarcate them from Cameroon. So, some of these borders created by colonizers. You understand?
Yeah.
If you read the history and you go back to roots, you see how similar all of us are. But because of religion and new cults, we are. But the fact is that if you divide African countries into 200 places, if we not change the way we think, how we do things, nothing will change. The problem is our mindset. If we do not change the way we do things, if the South Sudan, how are they doing? If we do not change our mindset, nothing will change. It's not about I am Igbo and Mama. Even within the same ethnic groups, there's still division. You understand? Some will say I can't marry from Anambra State. I can't marry from Imo State. Same Igbo. Even in Yoruba, some will say I can't marry from Ijebu. We have to understand that all of these, there were times human mind, wasn't that developed. That's how all of division. Now we claim to be educated and enlightened to because they say everywhere on the continent. If you go outside Africa, nobody cares you're from Ghana or Niger or Cameroon, you are a black person and you'll be treated the same way. Now, if you come back to your own continent and you start fighting each other, what sense does it? It doesn't make any sense. So the is that we should wake up, because if we do not let go of some division, you understand, this vision and work towards a better society, everybody call out people who are doing the things. Don't say my tribe is better. My in our tribe we are saints. There are bad people in every tribe, in every society, in every community, and there are also good people. So the fight is between the good people and the bad people, not between Igbo and Hausa, Sosa and Ewa. It's between bad people and good people. So good people should come together and call out the bad ones so that we can have a better society. I keep saying it. Just mark down this word. If we keep fighting this way, 50 years to come, divide African countries into 200, nothing is going to change. It's going to continue this way, because the more you divide the country, the more you give power to invaders, to Europeans, to imperialists, to penetrate the facts. And the more they are penetrating, nothing can. So we have to wake up with the new generations. We have to wake up. That's the fact, because these people you use. In fact, let me tell you, I hope I'm not taking too much time. Let me just give you this final point.
Okay.
The fact is that Nigerians do not hate each other, and that is the truth. I've traveled all across this country, all across Nigeria. In fact, I traveled was broke. I had nothing. I saw people from Zaria who gave me accommodation, who fed me. People from Benue fed me. People from Oshun, from Kogi, different parts of this country. They didn't care if I was Hausa, if I was Igbo or Christian or a Muslim. They saw a young man who was stranded and they helped me. But the people who are causing the problem are the people in power. And we know this, that they won't bring in this religious sentiment to divide everybody. And once we remain divided, we remain conquered. That's the fact.
Thank you so much.
Nigerians do not hate each other. Take it or leave it. That is the fact. So if we can, look beyond this tribal thing, I'm Hausa, I'm this. I don't have a tribe. My tribe is the person who wants me to succeed. You are my tribe. I don't care where you come from. As long as you want the best thing for me, for us, for our society, you are my tribe. I don't care where you come from.
Yeah, that
So
is how
is
it
what
should
we should
be.
look beyond.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Omoyele Sowore, do you have something to add to that?
Well, I think Chukwu and Emeka brilliantly put it together, but I will just add that I have been known to maintain the same position. That particularly about Nigeria, people always said, Nigeria was a Lord Lugard experiment. It was a British experiment. I agree. In fact, I've been quoted, and I said it before during the election, that Nigeria was created as a business. And then until it becomes a nation state, it will never work for anybody. But those who are aspiring that to break up Nigeria should understand that a problem does not go away because you break them into pieces. Never. Uh, when you are done with your Oduduwa for my people on the southwestern side of the agitation, they will be surprised at how many people, wicked people, incompetent people, intolerant people on the Oduduwa side of the world, such that their own part of the world will become unbearable for them. Because what will happen is that every part of the country will just inherit their own bastards who have been trained at the center. This has always been my position that what we haven't tried yet, which we must try, is to have a revolution that replaces the old rickety analog and dysfunctional system of government, and that puts all these bad guys out of business. And you'll be surprised how we can live peacefully together. Yesterday, I put up a message on my Facebook page about Mali. There's an uprising going on in Mali where they want their president to resign. Of course, one of the first commentators went there and said, "Oh, go and fight for the Dua. The Dua. This will never happen." And I said to him, they speak 80 languages in Mali, about 5 major ones, including the national lingua franca, French. Yet, you see this mass of people. I mean, all the objective conditions we need to fight for a better Nigeria is available. It's there. Why are you deceiving yourself by saying that, oh, if I don't if I fight for one part of the country, my life will be better. We're all deceiving that. We know it. We know it. But most importantly, and I'll say lastly, is that whenever you see this kind of agitations too, not in every situation, because I would have loved to address the Biafran agitation. That one came directly from injustice. Not in every situation. It's the politicians mostly that are sponsoring and pushing these things to negotiate for political power. I've seen it happen several times. Having been around for 30 years, I think you can trust me better when I tell you some of these things that goes on underground with the ethnic agitation.
Okay, so in other words, you think the politicians are the one pushing trying to divide the movement into different agitation.
Look, if you go to Abuja today, where I am, if you are here, the politicians don't have ethnic boundaries. Probably some of the biggest real estate owners in Abuja are Igbos. Maybe Yorubas. Now the Hausas are trying to catch up, right? But the truth is that when it comes to sharing the national cake, there's no ethnicity, there's no religion. Thieves. The only thing that they don't have is honor, greed, every other thing unites them. It's the same thing like my brother was saying about religion. They bring religion to divide you. One religion came from the north, the other one was pushed through the Atlantic Ocean. All of us are